Hello, everybody, and welcome to World War II Explained. Please subscribe to the channel for regular content on the basis on fact. World War II, June 6, 1944, 0630 hours, Omaha Beach, Normandy coast, France. Waves crash against the flat bow of LST-325, a hulking steel behemoth grinding ashore through churning surf laced with foam and blood. Machine gun fire chatters from concrete bunkers atop the cliffs, tracers arcing like angry fireflies. GIs huddle behind the ramp, faces pale under helmets slick with spray, the air thick with cordite and diesel exhaust. The ship's engines growl to a halt, bow doors creaking open like a giant maw. Tanks rumble out, Sherman splashing into knee-deep water, treads chewing sand. Artillery pieces follow, jeeps loaded with ammo crates. Thousands of men pour forth in a human tide. A Wehrmacht spotter in a pillbox watches through binoculars, jaw slackening. Unmöglich, he whispers, impossible. You can almost hear the roar of the invasion, feel the sand shift under boots as the floating coffin unleashes hell. Picture those early mocking laughs echoing from German lines years before. In 1942, Allied intelligence intercepts Wehrmacht chatter about captured blueprints of the American landing ship, tank, LST for short. Field Marshal Erwin Rommel's staff in North Africa sneers at the designs, flat-bottomed, ungainly, 328 feet long with a shallow draft of just 3 feet forward. Stahlfloss, they call it, a steel raft. It'll capsize in the first swell, jokes a Kriegsmarine officer in Berlin reviewing U-boat reports of prototypes spotted in Atlantic trials. Admiral Karl Donitz dismisses them as floating coffins, easy prey for torpedoes or storms. The LST lacks speed, topping 11 knots, no heavy armor, just a few 40mm guns for defense. To the precise German mind, it's amateurish, a desperate Yankee improvisation. But desperation breeds ingenuity. In Washington, Rear Admiral Emery S. Land pushes the design through the Bureau of Ships, inspired by British needs after Dunkirk. Designer John C. Niedermeyer sketches it, bow doors for beach unloading, vast tank deck holding 20 Shermans or 200 trucks. Built fast, hundreds rolling off yards in Pittsburgh and Evansville, riverside towns far from seas. The jeers start in earnest during Operation Torch, November 1942. Morocco's beaches, LST-1, the prototype, wallows through Mediterranean swells, crew gripping rails as she pitches. German reconnaissance planes buzz overhead, Luftwaffe pilots radioing back, American scrap metal adrift. But she beaches flawlessly, ramp dropping to disgorge M3 Lee tanks onto sand, artillery towed behind. Vichy French guns blaze, but the LST unloads in hours, retracts, heads for reload. Rommel, racing from El Alamein, hears reports, entire battalions appearing overnight. Skepticism lingers, propaganda, his aides mutter. You feel the Axis arrogance, don't you? The belief in superior engineering, U-boats ruling waves. Fast forward to Sicily, July 1943. Operation Husky. General George S. Patton's 7th Army relies on LSTs. At Gila Beach, LST-338 grounds amid rough seas, waves slamming her sides. Italian coastal batteries pound away, shells whistling overhead. Crew under Lieutenant Commander William H. Hardcastle works feverishly, winches whining, vehicles rolling out despite fire. A German observer from the Hermann Göring Division watches from dunes. Those things should sink, but they don't. By dawn, 3,000 troops and 200 vehicles ashore. The beachhead holds. Eisenhower notes in dispatches, LSTs are the war winners. Yet Japanese allies echo the mockery. Imperial Navy officers in Tokyo dub them Aki-kan, empty cans, after spotting them in Pacific Recon photos. The Pacific Theater amplifies the story. Guadalcanal, August 1942, early LST variants test waters. But full impact hits at Tarawa, November 1943. Baitio Atoll's coral reefs snag Higgins boats, Marines wading chest deep under machine guns.
LSTs, with their shallow draft, nudge closer, ramps extending like bridges. Tanks ford the lagoon, blasting bunkers.
Admiral Chester Nimitz praises, "Without LSTs, amphibious ops impossible." Japanese defenders hunkered in pillboxes stare in disbelief as floating boxes vomit armor. A captured diary from a Kempe Thai officer, "American devils summon armies from the sea." Rhetorical question, what turns scorn to shock? Reality crashing ashore. Normandy preparations intensify. Spring 1944, Slapton Sands, England. Exercise Tiger. LSTs rehearse, but E-boats torpedo 749 dead in flames and frigid channel. Germans intercept radio chatter, laugh harder, coffins indeed. But lessons harden tactics. D-Day dawns, over 200 LSTs in the Armada. At Utah Beach, LST 510 under Commander Harold F. Bultema beaches at H+90 minutes, unloading 28 tanks in 38 minutes. Rommel's Atlantic Wall, bunkers, mines, obstacles, faces the onslaught. Field Marshal Gerd von Rundstedt in Paris receives frantic calls, panzers emerging from ships like locusts. Omaha's carnage. LSTs brave the kill zone, medics hauling wounded aboard amid exploding surf. By nightfall, 34,000 troops and 3,000 vehicles landed. Rommel tours the front, face ashen. The sea is their highway. The emotional pivot hits hard. German POWs captured near Caen, interrogated by Allied intelligence. We thought them jokes, now they bury us. Short sentence, mockery silenced. Leyte Gulf, October 1944, Pacific climax. General Douglas MacArthur's return to Philippines. Over 130 LSTs in the invasion fleet. Admiral Takeo Kurita's center force looms, but LSTs beach under fire from Yamato's guns. At Red Beach, LST 552 grounds, ramp drops. Shermans charge into jungle, artillery pounding Japanese positions. Kamikazes dive, flames erupting, but unload continues. Japanese observers from hills, impossible, entire divisions materialize. By day's end, 100,000 men ashore. MacArthur wades in. I have returned. Imperial General Staff in Tokyo reels. LSTs enable island hopping, bypassing strongholds. Deeper into design triumphs, LSTs carry 2,100 tons, elevator from tank deck to weather deck, crew of 130, berths for 200 troops, versatile, some converted to repair ships, others hospital vessels with operating rooms. In Iwo Jima, February 1945, LSTs haul howitzers onto black sand, Marines advancing under sulfurous haze. Okinawa, April, largest amphibious assault. 300 LSTs unload amid typhoons, holds flooding but pumps churning. Japanese Admiralty concedes in war diaries, American logistics unbeatable. Human stories weave through. Take Seaman First Class Andrew Higgins, LST crews like Ensign John Doe on LST 325, dodging U-boats in Atlantic convoys, holds crammed with ammo. Or German soldier Hans Schmidt manning an 88mm gun at Normandy, watching LSTs approach. Heart pounding, sweat stinging eyes. They keep coming, he later recounts in memoirs. The legacy endures. Post-war, LSTs aid Korea, Vietnam, even civilian ferries. Over 1,000 built, many scrapped, a few museums like LST 393 in Muskegon. You sense the shift, right? From ridiculed rafts to revolutionary vessels. War's evolution, amphibious doctrine forever changed. No more slow beachings, armies land combat ready. Rommel's warning to Hitler, the war will be won or lost on the beaches. He was right, but underestimated the coffins. Imagine the quiet after. Beaches littered with tracks, waves lapping at empty hulls. The mockery? Buried in history's sands. Short sentence, innovation prevails. The story closes on Normandy's cliffs today. rusted bunkers overlooking calm seas. Tourists trace the ramp's ghosts, but in 1944, those floating coffins carried freedom's weight, landing hope overnight.